All right, everybody, welcome back to more reviews of season 1. This will be part 3. I'm gonna try to do 10 episodes this time. Last time I had to do 5 because, well, I had to get dinner done and all that, but this time I'll try to do 10 for you guys. Either way, the videos are gonna get done, so don't worry about it. So, first up is Sandy's rocket. So, Sandy's rocket is up next. Yep, so Sandy's rocket is next. So this episode is actually interesting because this is the first time we actually experience Sandy, being into science. We know she likes karate. We know she not only likes karate, but she's also from Texas and friends with SpongeBob and all that. But we do not know about her science stuff. And this episode, we actually finally get to see her do science. And also, I don't know if this is true, but I believe this is the only episode in the pre-movie era, which, is the first 3 seasons, where they actually have her talking about science or focusing on science. I could be wrong. There could be another episode. But I feel like this is the only one that actually focuses on science, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but yeah, so it's just kind of interesting. So this episode is about Sandy going to the moon. Yep, she's going to the moon, Later down the road, we'll actually see an episode themed with this, in the vacation episodes in season 8, I talked about. And ironically, both episodes have kind of a similar startup, where SpongeBob is going to Sandy's house. He's going to Sandy's place, and I'm knocking, and instead of ringing the doorbell, he's knocking, and actually the rocket comes out. It's really interesting. I'm not sure if it's the same rocket model or not. I actually have to rewatch both episodes, but it's kind of really weird how both of them kind of start there. But it's kind of interesting. But in this episode, we don't actually see her go to the moon. Instead, what happens is SpongeBob ends up hijacking her rocket by accident. Like, he accidentally presses a button and it makes it start, which is kind of weird, and it goes to the moon with Patrick, because Patrick, is not a very good influence. This is kind of where we're starting to kind of see him kind of be more. This is where Patrick's starting to kind of get more dim-witted. I didn't bring that up in Hall Monitor, but yeah, we're starting to see his more dim-witted side. Like, we're starting to get his more stupid side and all that, which is kind of funny and all that. But I like how Patrick just has this random, can of alien spray. I'm like, where the hell did he even get that from? Like, where did he get that from? Also, the fact that there's alien spray at all, it's just so weird. That's just so, weird. But yeah, I like how he has just this random can of alien spray for the windows, and that's their excuse to go in there and check out the rocket. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. But I will say too, SpongeBob, when he's talking about aliens, because before Patrick talked him into it, SpongeBob was also talking about aliens. I like how he's talking about Atlantis, and there's the 99-cent stores and all that. If you guys don't know about well, I don't really get the joke myself unless somebody wants to explain it to me, but the 99-cent store thing, I do know there were actual stores. I'm not sure if they're still around. I was reading that they all got shut down, but then I'm seeing that maybe they kept some of them open. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I don't think they're like those 99-cent stores. There's like other stores and all that, like, because this came out in 1999, so things were worthless back then. But I think a lot of stuff was still kind of more pricey, you know. But he said 99-cent stores, so I'm wondering if he's referring to the actual stores themselves, because like I said, they were real. They were real stores. Like, I didn't even know they existed for a long time until I saw articles on them, but kind of, interesting, but yeah, it's just kind of weird seeing all that, but there's also, there's like all this stuff going on and whatnot, and I really kind of like how they take off the rocket and go. They actually fly around the moon. So they don't actually go on the moon. They fly around the moon. And they land back in the ocean. I also kind of like seeing kind of the characters, in live action too. It's really cool. That's something I kind of like the older season kind of doing too. They started kind of bringing this back, but for a long time, they kind of quit focusing on the actual human world, and more on the ocean side. So I couldn't see this as much, but I do kind of like how the animators, blend them into the live action. It's really cool, it's really cool, but that's the thing too. That's the thing too. That's the thing. There's just like I said, there's a kind of a lot going on with Sandy's rocket and whatnot. That said, I will say that this episode here, I'm gonna say, does have some problems. It has some problems. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things I like about this episode, but what kind of happens is that SpongeBob and Patrick kind of like they basically take over. They not only hijack Sandy's rocket, but they confuse people as aliens, and then they kind of go around causing chaos throughout the Bikini Bottom, and yeah, I mean it's a little bit frustrating, but it's not really super frustrating. Like they do throw in some gags, like I like how Squidward, they go in Squidward's house. They go in Squidward's house and like try to abduct him, and then we have a whole thing with twins. It's just pretty funny, like SpongeBob's hands. It's really stupid but funny at the same time. Like where like SpongeBob mistakes the hands as twins. It's really funny. But yeah. Also, Mr. Krabs for some reason has a worm as a pet, which I think we only see I think one other time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I remember only seeing the worm one other time. But it's kind of interesting. But yeah, they basically kind of kidnap him too, and then, like I said, they go through the entire Bikini Bottom. I like how we also get Mrs. Puff, and we get to hear her her deep, puffy, foreign voice, which, by the way, I don't think ever appears again. I think this is the last time we actually hear it. This is the last time we hear it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is the last time we hear it. And then we see Flats the Flounder too. If you guys don't know who Flats the Flounder is, well, he'll be in a later episode I'll be talking about. But this is like his first episode. So we get some cameos and all that, and even we get to see Larry too, there's a lot of stuff, throughout the episode. But yeah, like I said, it could be a little frustrating. But that said, though, there's enough here where I'll have to say I'll give it a good, and I will also be giving it. I'm gonna give it 84 points. There we go, 84 points. Yeah, I'll be giving it 84 points. I think 84 points is a fair score, because like I said, the whole part of them taking Sandy's rocket's kind of annoying. And I feel like, yeah, they can I think it's a little annoying, when they're like going around abducting people and all that. But I feel like they make it funny for the most part, where it's good. Also, the ending, they're just stuck on the moon. Yeah, they're just stuck on the moon. Like, Sandy's rocket is just stuck on the moon. So they're basically just stuck on it, or, I don't know, it just kind of seems kind of weird and all that, but I do like seeing Sandy's science, personality and all that too. I do like her tough personality and her Texas, personality, but I really do like the science part too. It's too bad they didn't really do more of this in the pre-movie era. But that said, though, let's go on to the next episode. Oh yeah, this is kind of where apparently I messed up a couple of this actually. I messed up a couple of this. I messed up so there's supposed to be an episode called what was it called? Squeaky Boots, and then there's also not Opposite Day, Nature Pants, is I think what it's called. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start definitely doing this direction, because I kind of messed some stuff up. Don't worry, those episodes won't be there, but I forgot that they were kind of messed up like this. I thought I got that all fixed. Well, never mind. Like it's okay. Like I said, I'm gonna review them anyway. But yeah, I'm really sorry, guys. Like I said, I've been very busy, and with having autism and bipolar and all that, it's very hard. And I've had medication changes. I've hurt my arm. Yeah, I do want to apologize for all that. But that said, though, this is Opposite Day. We are in Opposite Day. So, Opposite Day is the next episode. This episode is about Squidward actually getting fed up with SpongeBob and Patrick breaking into his house, especially, because apparently it's not his birthday. So, he ends up wanting to sell his house. But he wants to sell his house and all that to this real estater, but this real estater does not want troublesome neighbors or like nematodes, which actually they're actually were nematodes, because we had that one with the pineapple, but we had one of those with the pineapple, and the pineapple thing, but. Yeah, but basically they are pretty much gone now, but yeah, so he has to like trick SpongeBob and all that. So he pretends he tricks him into thinking it's Opposite Day, to making him do the opposite of things. And I'll say, for the most part, I really like the idea of the Opposite Day, and they do some interesting stuff with it. Like they have SpongeBob and Patrick switching, their skin colors, and also we got a moment where Patrick doesn't breathe, and which is really funny and all that, and they eat eat snail food and all that. It's really it's really kind of weird seeing them back and forth. They even kind of talk too, which is they kind of talk backwards too. They do some of that a little bit. It's really funny how creative they get with the opposite stuff there. Also, we get to hear the nostalgic Hawaii. Is it Hawaiian or Hawaii? I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the music. I'll have to look it up after this, but I'm pretty sure it's that. I didn't bring that up, but actually, in that episode where, I told you about the, Squidward and, Squidward, tricking SpongeBob and Patrick with the bubbles and all that, and talking, it actually appears first in that episode, when he's making the cake. But yeah, I really like this music too. It's pretty catchy, but yeah, it's called the whole. I think it's called Nostalgic Hawaii or something like that. Pretty good, catchy music. It appears a lot in season 1. It'll appear afterwards too, but in season 1 is where it appears most of the time. It'll appear a lot more. Yeah, it appears, in those segments. Then we get to probably the part of the episode where I start losing a little bit of interest because, SpongeBob, pretends to be Squidward, because he thinks, because Squidward's the one fixing his house and all that, but apparently I'm guessing, what's going on here is he thinks, Squidward being, fixing his house. I don't know. He was thinking fixing his house and all that. Maybe. I don't know what was. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't even know. I can't even figure out what's going on there. But he pretends to be Squidward. I have to say though, Tom Kenny does a very good Squidward impression. But he does a really good one. But yeah, he really does. He does a really good, Squidward impression. I will give Tom Kenny that. He does a really good impression with Squidward. I will say I kind of liked his voice a little bit, my Squidward voice a little bit more, and what was it? Ripped Pants at the beginning there, but it's still pretty nice to hear him doing Squidward. But it's really nice, but yeah, he does this impression and all that, and goes into the house, and both Patrick and him go at the house, tricks the real estater into thinking, I guess, not intentionally trying to do it, but they do it by not realizing, I think, she's a real estater and trying to help sell a house. I do like how positive she is though with the house. I do like that. And that's not very common for people, especially the painting. A lot of people do not like Squidward's paintings. I never understood why. I thought Squidward's paintings were really nice. He does a lot of paintings of himself. There's people who do that. You'll see a lot more on paintings of other stuff. But there are people who have artists out there that do paint themselves a lot. In different forms and all that, which it looks nice. But yeah, I never really got that. The clarinet thing I can kind of understand, but I never got the other stuff. But yeah, apparently then Squidward realizes, that she's there, and that he finally reveals, she was asking who he was Squidward, and then she gets all mad at them because of the whole Squidward thing, and I guess she said, I don't know if she was just if she was just saying that, in general, or her name was actually Squidward as well, which that'd be kind of weird if it was. But there could be different Squidwards, but that pisses her off. Then she drives off and pisses Squidward off, and then Squidward uses a bulldozer to chase down SpongeBob and Patrick, which I like that. Unfortunately, I think this is the last time, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the last time we actually get to see him have a happy ending where he actually gets paid back at SpongeBob and Patrick like this. After this, they'll they won't really do much with that. I mean, I could be wrong, there could be more, but I'm pretty sure this is the last time. But I do really like that. The ending kind of saves the episode for me from getting a meh. So I'm going to give it a good. And I'm going to give it not only a good, I'm going to give it 100 points. Yeah, it's getting 100 points. It barely gets a, like, I mean, it's like, again, it's not bad, it's good, it's good, but I do have problems with the whole thing. But Squidward getting payback on SpongeBob and Patrick at the end kind of saves the episode for me. Now, some people might not like this episode, because of the way, Squidward was treated and all that, but I feel like he did get payback on them, and I like the whole opposite day thing. I like Tom Kenny's impression of SpongeBob or Squidward. So yeah, it's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. Anywho, next episode is Culture Shock. Culture Shock is next. And I gotta say, Culture Shock, I have to say, I really like the music for this one, too. I don't remember the name of the theme for this one. This one's very catchy. But Culture Shock is, it's the episode is about, Mr. Krabs is not getting business, so he has to, he's asking, SpongeBob and Squidward any ideas. And Squidward suggests that they do a talent show, which actually is a pretty smart idea. That's a pretty smart idea. Do a little talent show. So while you're eating food, people can actually do some talent. That's actually a really smart idea. That really is. But so that's what he does. He does the talent thing, so we get to see characters like Pearl and Plankton. Yeah, Plankton's in here too as a cameo. He doesn't really do much. He's more of a cameo. Although I do like his performance as a magician and blows himself up trying to steal a formula, and you're trying to blow Mr. Krabs up. It's pretty funny, but we do get some stuff here, and I like SpongeBob's talent too. It's pretty nice seeing him dancing with bubbles and absorbing, water. It's pretty good. I really like it. That said, though, of course, Squidward does not really respect him. I think Squidward's more so just worried that SpongeBob will steal the talent and all that, and honestly, yeah, SpongeBob kind of does that at the end of the episode, because Squidward's performance, I don't know why everybody hates it. I actually really like it. I mean, of course, it's cartoon characters versus real life, but I really like his little funny dancing move he has. It's really funny, and the music, and, but of course, everybody else hates it, and so, I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel a little bad for Squidward, here, but to be fair, he kind of treats SpongeBob like kind of garbage anyway, but I kind of hate how he gets hate on this, and, but I do, but I do really like his little dance thing and all that, and I like how at the end we get a montage of him and SpongeBob going back and forth with the crowd, and it stops. It's pretty funny, but like I said, yeah, I feel a little bad for Squidward, but because I feel like, yeah, he would treat SpongeBob like shit, but I mean, at the same time, I'm like, it wasn't like that was even bad. That was actually a really good dance move. But that said, though, he was a kind of a jerk, and I kind of like seeing him get his comeuppance. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to say about this episode. Well, we get to see SpongeBob's parents again, which is really nice. I felt like the show kind of kind of forgot about him a little bit too for a while there. They will appear more in season 5, but they kind of appear here and there. Like I wish they kind of like had more like appearances throughout the show, but that said though, it's still nice to see them anyway. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this episode is definitely getting a good. And not only it's getting a good, but it is getting 120 points. This episode is fantastic. Definitely a really fantastic episode. I really like this episode a lot. I really do like it. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about it. It's just really good. Like, yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but that's the thing though. It's just pretty much just about talent and all that, and I do like a lot about the episode. It's just really good. Like, it's really, really good. I really like this one. Definitely one of the betters. I mean, we've had a few that have not been as good, but this one's definitely really good. And next up is the episode Fun. Yeah, speaking of Plankton, we have a Plankton episode here. And in this episode, Plankton tries to steal the Krabby Patty again. He tries to steal the Krabby Patty again, and he steals it by just stealing the Krabby Patty, and I like how he disguises himself as whatever the heck that is with the little glasses and nose and all that. It's kind of, like a little party shop or something. Gets all, those little glasses with the nose and the mustache and all that. Those are kind of goofy and funny. He disguises himself as that. I do like that. I also like the whole chase sequence of SpongeBob chasing Plankton. It's pretty nice. But the thing is, though, the episode gets even better as it goes on. So after, he loses and walks away sad and depressed, SpongeBob tries to befriend him because, he thinks maybe because he's lonely, he doesn't have anybody to hang out with. And, I mean, to be fair, this concept, I feel like, would be better off if they did this kind of, down the road, instead of doing this, like, early on. They should have just waited to do this, because the thing is, though, is that they're trying to make the audience think, well, Plankton's actually, gonna turn the league, But because this is season 1, we know he's not gonna turn the league. He's gonna go right back to stealing the formula at the end. So we kind of already know what to expect. But that said, though, it's still a really fun episode. And I really like the fun song itself. I like Plankton and, SpongeBob singing it. It's really catchy, and I like too how Mr. Krabs Mr. Krabs actually kind of accepts he actually kind of accepts Plankton, as being a good guy, until he finds out his patty gets stolen. Because somehow Plankton stole the Krabby Patty, even though we clearly saw it. So I don't really know how he stole the patty. I kind of wish they kind of showcased it a little bit, but they kind of didn't really showcase him. They didn't really show how he could have stolen it. It was just sitting on the plate burning. Like, maybe they could have showed Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob and then go right back to him. And then they could have had it that way. It kind of feels weird how it just randomly disappeared. But I do like to, they go to the movie, and we see Bubble Bass again. Last time we'll see Bubble Bass for several years, or, in this case, technically it wouldn't be several years, but, it would be several years if you were watching this episode in 1999, because, they literally kind of got rid of him on the show because of SpongeBob having a rivalry. He doesn't even speak. But I like how he just, like, I like too how he uses his fat ass and, like, claps it on Plankton's face. That's so weird, but, it's so weird, but, still pretty funny, but, I do like that. I'm sorry, I had a message for, Jenny, too. I forgot that this phone, I can get messages from that still, unlike YouTube. So I hope, I think there's gonna be one here that's gonna pop up. So ignore that, but I was gonna say though, yeah, that this episode, though, is definitely fun. Like, I really, really like this episode, I really do. This one is definitely, getting a good. It's getting a good. And this episode is getting 120 points. Yeah, this is what I call a fun episode. I call this a fun episode. No pun intended, but it really is a fun episode to watch. Also, this is the first time we get to hear the sailor music, too, which will appear in, like, ARG and all that. I don't remember the name of the music, but it'll appear there. That's one of the soundtracks that still plays in current SpongeBob, so that's good to know. Next up, we have Muscle Bob Buff Pants. So Muscle Bob Buff Pants is next. And in this episode, too, we actually get to see SpongeBob trying to do workouts with Sandy. I like seeing Sandy's humongous arms. It's kind of, like, it's not gross. It's kind of weird looking, but it's not, like, gross. But yeah, it's not really gross, but yeah, it is kind of more realistic looking. But it's definitely not, like, a bad look. It's just kind of weird looking. Especially considering she has, like, no fur there and all that. To be fair, though, you can't really see her fur, I think, too much anyway, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird looking, but I like how she's trying to train SpongeBob, and she's kind of crazy. She's kind of crazy with the whole thing, and for some reason goes to the result of arm crusher. Like, why would you want to crush your arms? I don't get that. But SpongeBob doesn't want to do that anymore, and he sees these muscles. We see these muscles. These muscles and all that. We get to see them, and with Shark do them. I like how the shark has, like, wimpy arms, but, like, has, like abs and a chest. Is pretty interesting, but I do kind of like that. Also, I like Gary's, like, eyes, too, and he looks worried, too. It's kind of, I like how they're animated when SpongeBob's arms are hurting, you know? But, so he tries them out, and because thinking that they're real muscles, but they're not real muscles. They're not real muscles. They're just like, well, the muscles themselves are just a they just look like muscles, but they're actually, like, you know, they're rubber, and so, you know, he tries to, like, show it to his friends and all that, and then even Sandy. And now, I'll say, unlike Ripped Pants, I don't know, I feel like in this episode they kind of don't really focus on the whole Sandy and SpongeBob becoming or SpongeBob liking Sandy. I'm not sure when they kind of quit doing this, but, well, I think they quit doing this and they kind of go back to it a little bit. Like, I've heard in some games and all that, they'll have SpongeBob hinting at the audience that he likes Sandy. So I'm not sure. Maybe they decided to do it again. I don't know. I don't feel like SpongeBob and Sandy need to be a couple. They could just be friends, But yeah, they kind of don't focus. But it feels like they're focusing more on SpongeBob trying to impress other people, not Sandy for once, like ripped pants. Because SpongeBob wanted all the attention on Sandy, he actually had feelings for her. Here, it looks like he's trying to do it for everybody. But basically he and Sandy and all of them kind of go to a weightlifting, competition. Where they throw these, or not weights, I mean anchors, and throw them and all that. And I have to say, I really like the part where they're throwing it, and this guy, he's constantly getting his ass handed to him by these like this guy, this poor fish, he keeps getting crushed. He cannot escape these poor anchors, and I just feel bad for him. Luckily, he's saved from SpongeBob, because SpongeBob can't do it. So SpongeBob's arms blow up, and I like the animation of them blowing up. And then that's pretty much the episode. They go back to Sandy's place, and Sandy finds another thing for him to do by pushing, a remote. So that's pretty much the episode. This episode is actually really good. I really like it. I like we get to see Lagoon again. The Lagoon place. As the narrator says, it's actually a stinky mud puddle too. So it's actually not even real water. But like I've said, I've heard people saying that they have found stuff like this in the water itself too, which is crazy. So I'm like, that's kind of crazy. It's actually real. Fire, I don't think it could be real. I mean, I guess it could be. Maybe it was hot enough, but it's pretty much lava is really hot. Fire is not. So I don't see how it can animate and all that, or how it can work underwater as easily. But I mean, there are some hot stuff out there. I mean, the sun's pretty hot and all that, but I don't know. But let's go ahead and actually get this score. This one's definitely getting good, and I'm definitely giving it 120 points. Definitely 120 points. I really like this episode. I really like it. It's really, really good. It's definitely another really good episode. Not as good as Culture Shock, but still a really good episode. I still like this one a lot. I'm glad we're having some good episodes here, because the other ones have not been bad, but or meh, but they have not been as good. These ones are really good episodes here. Let's go on to Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost. So this episode is pretty interesting for one reason. Actually, two reasons. First reason is this episode here. A lot of people are actually not the biggest fan of it. This is one of those pre-movie air episodes. A lot of people are not the biggest fan of it. They don't hate it, but they don't like it either. They're kind of like, it's just alright. Another thing is, too, this episode is the first time we actually see the Flying Dutchman. Well, in comic book form. Because for some reason, apparently, people decided, or the fish creatures decided to put the Flying Dutchman, for some reason, and put his body in a display in a window at a shop, which is that's just disgusting. I imagine how bad your shop would smell of rotting flesh and all that. That's just disgusting. Apparently, people have done it though. I've seen some people talk about what was it? It's not Tokyo. There was a place where they actually have somebody a monk or something do it. But that's still kind of gross. I wouldn't want a dead person, just display. That's just disgusting. But yeah, I don't know why they did that. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it's in a comic book, so we never actually see the Flying Dutchman in this episode, but we see him in a comic book, which is kind of interesting. But it says the origin of the Flying Dutchman. So, but the thing is, the Flying Dutchman doesn't appear until a spooky episode. There's a spooky episode where he'll appear in the Scaredy Pants episode. But I'm wondering if this one maybe was supposed to come out before that one, because the way SpongeBob, or maybe after that one, because the way SpongeBob says it is it's an origin of the Flying Dutchman. So maybe he already when he was reading it, like he knew who the Flying Dutchman was, so maybe he already knew it. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but that said, though, this episode, though, I will say I actually kind of like it more than the other episodes, or than other people. It is probably one of the more weaker ones of Season 1, but I don't think it's bad. I will say, though, the whole plot of the episode is SpongeBob and Patrick are playing this random game, which I'm not even sure what they're even playing. Like, they're just playing a game, I guess. And then, like, Squidward's gonna be taking a shower, or I guess a bath or shower. I don't know what he's doing. Actually, I think he was taking a bath. So, they're playing with a shell, and then accidentally knocked it in Squidward's clay head thing, which is like made of clay, or not clay. I mean wax. Sorry, wax, not clay. Wax. Because that was his last statue, and then he completed all of his media, or whatever the heck he was talking about, like all the art with him. So that's pretty interesting. Of course, SpongeBob and Patrick kind of ruin it. They think it's Squidward. I do like the part where Patrick like freaking squashes Squidward, or the not real Squidward, because the real one's taking a bath, and his fat ass sits on it, and it's really funny. Like, I really like how he's just like I'm sorry. I just really like looking at that. Like, it's just really funny, and just like. Yeah, I think the writers honestly had some sort of fetish going on, because they made a lot of jokes like that in the earlier seasons. They would still do it after the pre-movie era, but yeah, somebody on the team I think kind of liked the big boys and all that, which I mean it's their thing, they can refer to anybody they want, like they can like strong men or strong women, or like I said, It's one of those. It's one of those fetish things, because adults have that stuff sometimes. Not all of them do. Like I said, I'm not into that kind of stuff, like in general. But I know, like I've heard some stuff about that stuff, So, but like I said, it's really interesting. But that said, though, I do feel like that's kind of what they had a thing for, like that kind of stuff, because there was a lot of jokes like that. But with Patrick's butt and other characters, it was pretty funny. But that said, so they ruined his sculpture and all that by putting it in the sun, and then Squidward's all pissed off, because they ruined his sculpture. Which, I mean, yeah, they ruined it. It's not like they did it on purpose. They were trying to play with the shell. Maybe Squidward shouldn't have left his window open. But yeah, he, I mean, like I said, he wasn't planning on them ruining it either, but, like, it wasn't like they did it on purpose. Because they think he's a ghost, because of all the powder and stuff on his body, which, by the way, we don't see again. Like, we don't see, whenever he takes baths, we don't see that again. But he will, like, they think he's a ghost and all that, so they have to, like, obey his every command and all that, and, I kind of wish they kept that white look throughout the entire episode. I kind of like that look. It looks kind of nice, but unfortunately, it was only in that one scene at the beginning, and then they kind of just have him wear his outfit, so he doesn't look very ghostly. Like, I mean, SpongeBob and Patrick are idiots, but still, it would have been kind of nice for the audience to see, to see him with his white powder all over him. Still, it would be kind of nice. But they do whatever he says, so they take him, in places and feed him food. I like the part where Patrick, shoves him a watermelon down his throat from the manure. It's like from the manure, fields and all that. That's really disgusting, but also really funny at the same time. It's disgusting because it's from the manure fields, but also I don't know. It's the way he throws it in his mouth. I'm sorry. I have the giggles. Sorry. It's really funny. It really is. And there's stuff like that. And also I like how when he gets him to clean his room and all that, they there's a random thing of wallpaper on there. I'm just why is it even why is that even there? Why is that even there? Why does it even have a thing of wallpaper? I guess maybe to make it look like there's more work than there actually is. I don't know, it's kind of weird. There was the comic book thing too, but that's still pretty interesting. But I like too how the rest of the episode they're trying to put him to rest and all that, and everybody kind of shows up to his memorial and all that, which I'm surprised because a lot of people don't seem to like Squidward much, but I'm glad they at least show up to his funeral. They show up to his funeral, and then he ends up he reveals that he's actually not dying and all that, and he never died, and then in the last part of the episode, they actually send him to the actual great beyond, which is in the human world, above the ground. Which is really interesting, we really don't see the human world a lot in the first season, but I do we get to see it here. It's really nice. But yeah, it's kind of weird too. I guess the human world is the great, beyond, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. But otherwise, yeah, this episode I don't think is as bad as people will say. I think it's definitely a good. And I guess I did give it a score. I thought I got it a score, too. Oh, shoot. Well, I'm going to give it 120 points. Sorry, guys. I thought I actually put 120 points there. I guess I didn't do that. I'm sorry, guys. Anywho, I guess we'll move on to the next episode now, which is Squeaky Boots, which technically is supposed to be after Sandy's rocket, but I kind of messed this up. I'm gonna have to, like I said, this is the first time I'm actually doing this. I mean, I did this with Futurama, but Futurama had 10 episodes. This is 41 here, 41 episodes. So there's a lot more episodes here, but yeah, I think I'm going to just do it a little at a time next time. But that said, though, we're on this episode, though, so Squeaky Boots. So Squeaky Boots is the episode I want to talk about with, this is another episode that people actually don't really like a lot. This, unlike the Unfriendly Ghost episode, this one people really do not like. And that's probably because, well, it's about squeaky boots, and the squeaking can kind of get annoying. However, I will say this episode with the squeaky and and all that with the boots, I don't think it's as annoying. I don't feel like they focus on it a ton. This is actually supposed to be the first episode too where we get featured with Pearl too. We get Pearl, and because that's what happened. Mr. Krabs bought her some cheap old boots, and which is like $2, like $2 for boots though. I mean, yeah, they're squeaky, but still $2 though. It's kind of just $2 is kind of crazy, but instead of just trying to return it to the store, because I'm pretty sure you can just return that stuff to the store. Instead, he decides to he decides to try to trick SpongeBob into getting them. So I don't know, it's kind of weird, but also Mr. Krabs' house in this episode too has a chain on it too. I kind of like the chain. I kind of wish they kind of kept the chain. Unlike Patrick's house, where we'll see real furniture, which I kind of like the sand part a little bit better down the road. In Squeaky Boots, I kind of would have liked to have Mr. Krabs' house have a little chain on it because it's an anchor. That would have been kind of nice, but I don't know. It's not a big deal, but it's still kind of interesting that it's only in this episode because we'll see it a couple of times. Another thing is though with this episode is I like we have all these moments where SpongeBob is doing this talent with the boots, which is pretty nice, and I like how his workers actually get vacation time, which you wouldn't think in Mr. Krabs, even as maybe season 2 and 3, well, midway in season 2, because season 2 they started off kind of like this Mr. Krabs and then they kind of made it more and more cheap as time went on. He actually gives them actual paychecks and actually not only gives them paychecks but also gives them vacation time too, which is interesting. But that's the thing, that there's a whole episode too where SpongeBob doesn't get enough vacation time days because he doesn't get any, so he has to leave the work and all that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But Squidward takes his vacation time because he's fed up with SpongeBob's squeaky boots, and then Mr. Krabs goes freaking insane, which I really like how he goes insane. I even like the face he has when he's eating the boots. It's so freaking funny, it's really funny and all that, but I don't know if that whole segment where he goes crazy is a parody to something. I don't really know, but it's still pretty funny. It's pretty funny, but Squeaky Boots, it's kind of like that. Like I said, it's crazy, what we have with that, but I like it. I like the episode itself, but I like the concept of the episode, and the concept, actually take it back. The concept of the episode is actually the part where I can kind of where it might be like Squeaky Boots, meaning it'd be kind of annoying. Maybe kind of annoying, but the execution is actually the part that's good. Which is kind of, it's usually very rare. It's usually the concept, sounds good on paper, but then the execution is bad. But in this episode, it's actually the other way around. I'll actually be giving this one a good. Yep, a good. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go. Yeah, I guess I didn't give it 100. I'm gonna give this one. I think I'm gonna give it about 98 points. Yeah, I think 98 points is probably good. Again, how come I do not have where is my I'm literally missing my score thing there. I don't know what happened there. That's probably why I just need to do a little bit at a time. But that said, though, That's pretty much the episodes. I mean, I could review Nature Pants next, but my throat's starting to hurt again, and I think I reviewed about 10 episodes, so I think I don't know if I reviewed 10 episodes or not, because I forgot about the that I did not have, these ones, well, especially this one. This one I kind of remembered a little bit, but this one I did not, because I thought about fixing this one, but then I'm like every time I came back, I was trying to fix it, I always kept messing it up. So I was just like, as long as the episodes are here, I'm not that big concerned. But that said, though, next time we will be talking about Nature Pants. But anywho, though, see you guys later. I'll talk to you guys later, and we'll do part 4 next time. We're getting there. We're getting there, but like my throat's hurt, and I think it does that a lot in the spring. It just starts to hurt, so I'll have to do more of it later. Because yeah, it doesn't usually hurt like this unless the weather is changing. So, but anywho, bye bye.